There are 7 reasons that you get sexier when you cook for someone else. Today on the Carefree Cook's Code, I'm Chef Todd Moore, and this is the Carefree Cook's Code, every Tuesday live at noon Eastern. Here's our challenge. How can home cooks cook freely with creativity, confidence, and pride while ignoring recipes and still impressing themselves and others with what they cook? Well, the answer is found in becoming empowered with how cooking works, using dependable and repeatable methods of cooking that work for any ingredient, for any diet, and any desire, just like chefs do. And we'll know we've cracked it when everyone sees cooking as an exciting and rewarding way to improve their relationships, their lifestyles, and their health through better food and cooking. This is the Carefree Cook's Code. Welcome back, everyone. It's the Carefree Cook's Code. We are live together again on a Tuesday. If it's not a Tuesday and you don't think I'm live, that's because you didn't go to webcookingclasses.com/live and register for my message alert system. You should go there and do that so you know when we're going to be live again, because we are the Carefree Cooks, ladies and gentlemen, right? We create our own recipes. This brings friends and family together. We learn every time we cook. We define our own cooking styles. Why? Because we practice pro methods, and this makes you love your cooking. And that's what we're all here together for again today, just days away from Valentine's Day. And I wanted to talk about it being sexier with your cooking today. Oh, but first I've got another what am I for you. Tell me in the chat box down below. What am I? What the heck is that? I'll give you a hint. At my vet, where I take my dogs, one of the vet techs there, she has jewelry in this shape. So if you know what that is, tell us in the chat box. It's the what am I for today. Don't you just love somebody that can cook? I know you do. Everybody loves somebody that can cook. Sure. The answer has got to be yes, because in all the years that I've been teaching cooking, I've heard the stories, hundreds of stories, maybe thousands of stories from home cooks everywhere, all over the world. They tell me that they love their moms, right? They remember the comfort food that she brought them into the kitchen with. This was a demonstration of love, you know, and in a lot of large ethnic families, it's a stereotype, or it's true, that the food is love, right? Mom teaches you that feeling of security that food brings. And everybody loves their grandmas too, because it was their grandmas that brought them into the kitchen. It made them feel smart, right? Do you remember when you were a kid and you made cookies with grandma and they came out right? Like, and you were so proud, you went around, I made this cookie, me and grandma made this cookie, right? Grandma made you feel smart and accomplished through cooking. But for me, it was my grandfather on my mother's side. My mother's father, he's the one that made cooking seem like such a puzzle to me, like a fun puzzle to figure out, something to try and unravel, to uncode. My grandpa taught me problem-solving skills around cooking. And at any age, in early development, cooking is love. And in adulthood, I'll tell you, cooking is love. I hear it all the time, and that's why we all love someone that can cook. If you disagree with me, tell me in the chat. If you agree, give me some hearts, because that's the symbol of love, right? And with Valentine's Day quickly approaching, it's the perfect opportunity now to demonstrate your love through great food and cooking. And there are 7 very specific things that you demonstrate about yourself when you cook for someone else. And each of these characteristics is something that raises your status in the eyes of the person that you love. And to me, this is so much of what cooking is about. It raises your status. It raises your status for yourself. You feel a sense of pride. You give of yourself. You provide for other people. It raises the status of the people that you cook for, because they say, oh, thank you for this. Thank you for the generosity. But I'll tell you what, when you cook for someone else, the first thing that you show is that you're sensitive. A sensitive person is generally a good cook. I've met very few mean Very few mean people well, Gordon Ramsay aside, okay, but that's just for TV. I've met very few mean people that like to be surrounded by friends, family, and cooking. So if you can cook for someone else, you're showing that you're sensitive to colors, you're sensitive to flavors, you're sensitive to textures, right? It's a kind of an artistic endeavor, and you're sensitive enough to know the right foods, right? Their favorite foods, his or her specific diet that you cook for, and you demonstrate the sensitivity that these things are important to them. So if you make somebody's, like an entire meal out of somebody's favorite foods for Valentine's Day, doesn't that say that you're a sensitive person, right? That you're aware of what they want? And I'll tell you something else. It's sexy to be creative. I mean, people are always attracted to people that can express themselves, right? Through art, through music, through literature, or through food in the kitchen, right? All the girls go for the rock stars, don't they? And I've no chance of me being a rock star, okay? So if you can't play guitar and you can't write poetry, but you can put exciting flavors together, you can create interesting foods, you show a tremendous creativity. You show like that artistic streak that you have. That's sexy, wouldn't you think? That's attractive. The other thing is being successful is really sexy. Men and women are drawn to successful people. No matter what the definition of success is, I'm not saying anything about money or owning things. I think success has a lot to do with pride, with confidence, with being within oneself, right? And if you're successful at cooking, if you have successful cooking skills, it shows you can bring a project to fruition. You can bring all these elements together and come out with something that you present to someone else, and it's really attractive to someone when you plan a menu, right? When you coordinate the timing, when you execute it well, bring it to the table, present a beautiful plate that you then sit down and enjoy together, and you're sitting there afterward, what's your feeling? Okay, beside full, okay, all right. But the second feeling beside full is successful, is the accomplishment. Wow, we pulled off this meal. What a great time together. Well, let me tell you another thing that's really sexy. Being worldly, right? Being well-traveled. You ever sit down at a cocktail party or have a friend of a friend tell you about a trip that they've been on and the different cultures that they experienced, the things that they learned? Yeah, being worldly is kind of cool, right? And you look, even if you've never gotten on a plane, you can be worldly. Even if you've never gone anywhere in your life, you can still travel through food and cooking. You can gather ingredients from all over the world. You can speak articulately about them. Just a little bit of research on the internet does that. Oh, this is this very special or rare ingredient from Thailand that they use too. This is a pepper that is used in the such and such and so on. Speak about it, right? Buy these ingredients and then talk about it. So you put these things together from all over the world. You talk about why you chose them. You anticipate with those words, those worldly words about how this is going to taste, like describe it. Why did you pick it? Why did you put in there? You're bringing cultures together, right? You're combining and contrasting styles and flavors. And what does this do? This makes your dining room a travel destination. To me, that's really cool. That's really sexy. I'll tell you what else is sexy is generosity. And I'm not talking about picking up the check, you know, putting something, $150 on your credit card. I don't know. That doesn't seem very sexy to me on Valentine's Day. You know, we're not talking about dollars and cents generosity here. I mean the generosity of your time, right? The generosity of your attention, of focusing on someone else, of taking some time to create something and then to include someone else. I mean, anybody can pick up a check, right? But to actually make dinner, and when you've actually given of yourself something, your time, your effort, your sensitivity, your worldliness, all these things we're talking about, that's generous to give of yourself. And I think generosity is really sexy too. And you know, someone that is on a journey, someone that's on a path to figure out how cooking works, I think is an interesting person. And you know, mysterious. Like, it's a little mysterious when they can cook for you, you know? And mysterious is sexy. In every movie, mysterious is sexy. In every novel, mysterious. Who's the mysterious person? So imagine your diner, your friend, the one that you love, your partner, and they're sitting there, how did they make this? Oh my goodness, this is so delicious. Where do they even come up with the idea to put these things together, you know? What else do they know? What other talents might they be hiding, right? It's if you create a curiosity about yourself, a mystery of how you got these skills, how you understand these things, that can be very sexy too. And lastly, when you cook for someone else, when you cook for someone else, you can show how skilled with your hands you are. Or let's just say skilled, okay? Being good with your hands, right? Getting flashy is really sexy. So what if you cooked a meal together? Or how about this? Cook together in the kitchen, but maybe one of you just pours the wine, all right? You could still say that you're cooking together in the kitchen, but one of you is only in charge of keeping the wine glasses. But there's a benefit to that because there you are. Deglaze the pan, right? Flambe that dessert. Every kitchen skill that you show off just might make them wonder what else you might accomplish with your hands. Tongue-in-cheek, ladies and gentlemen, because look, a man that can cook demonstrates sentiments that a lot of men can't put into words, I think. Men may not be really good at words and poetic sentences, but I find a lot of men are really good at cooking. And you know, the other great thing is men don't want to follow recipes. When have you ever known a man to stop and ask for directions, right? Men don't want to follow directions, so they can do all these cool things that we're talking about. And a romantic meal together will mean so much more to a woman than all the flowers, all the chocolates, all the greeting cards that any man can gather. It says so much more about who you are. Now, to be fair, women, let's admit, no matter how old the boy gets, he still wants those feelings and those elements of comfort that he had when he was a boy. And women that cooked for their loved ones, they demonstrate the kindness and generosity that we're talking about. And this is where women can be leaders, right? This is where women are household leaders. They're the providers. They're the artists that use their cooking skills to create warmth and love in the household. This is an elevated position. So from a woman's standpoint, a romantic meal with the one you love can mean so much more than giving someone a gift, a necktie or jewelry or cologne or garage tools or, you know, anything. It says so much more about you. And for these seven reasons over here, I would think about putting together a meal for Valentine's Day. It doesn't need to be fancy. It doesn't need to take 5 hours to make. It is something that only you know. Only you know what his or her favorite ingredient is. Only you know the dish that you'll make that reminds you of the trip that you took, right? Responsive chord in their mind. Only you know the flavors that are going to turn on the ones that you love. And all these elements of being a good cook, they all make you sexier, and they all make you have a much better time on the most romantic day of the year coming up quickly. So think about that as we move forward. Oh, hey, it's the dish of the week that we have to get to again and again, the non-competition, just simply a very random, as I scroll through our Carefree Cooks community, I stop at, well, it had to be Mark's Cake this week. Mark put together a chocolate almond heart cake that he's selling at the church bake sale. I'm sure the church appreciates that. The really cool thing about Mark's Cakes is, and I watched his progression because he worked so hard at getting this mirror glaze down pat. And one of the reasons that I wanted to make an example, not only because it's a heart and it's sexy, is because I know how hard he worked on this. And you know, when I get emails and questions that say, Chef Todd, I did the 9 steps in the basic saute method and it didn't work. It's not a magic trick. You know, getting a beautiful glaze on a cake like that doesn't happen the very first time. But here's why cooking by method is so much more exciting than cooking by written recipes, because you actually learn each time. So I know Mark tried to do this glaze and totally messed it up. And what did he say? Did he go, up? Glaze is impossible. I don't know what to tell you. I've seen other people do it, but it must be impossible. No, he took mental notes. He figured out what he did well and what could be better. And then he did it again. And he took more mental notes. What did I do well? What could I do better? And after 2 or 3 or 5, or I don't know, it could take 50 times. But each time that you say, what did I do well and what could I do better? You wind up at that point where it's reflexive. You wind up at that point where you do it with your eyes closed, quote unquote. So good for you, Mark. Beautiful cake, and it fit right in. And it fit right into our discussion for today. We had the what am I today, and I'll give you the answer to the what am I in just a minute. Let's go back and see what people are asking me. I need to flip this switch. There we go. And let me see if I can get the comments. Comments. It's always so hard for me to see the comments. Cool. All right, now I got them. Let's go to the top. How's everybody doing today? This is good. Kimberly's with us. My wife God, I hate when they scroll when I'm reading. Debbie's with us. Welcome, Debbie. Hey, Teresa. Yeah, that's what got me. My amazing husband cooked for me every day after work. Oh, isn't it something when you say my husband cooked for me? You'd be surprised how many people join our community. I hear from so many men that say, I'm retired. My wife and I are now retired, and she cooked for me for 30, 40, 50 years or whatever, and I want to return the favor. I want to cook for her. It's one of the most heartwarming things that I can think of. Hi, everyone. Hi, Ivan. Ivan is with us, says hello, chef. Better late than never. People are checking in. That's good. People giving each other tech advice. That's good too. Sometimes with the streaming video, it's just really hard. It has so much to do with where you are, your computer speed, your computer processor. It's not like turning on the TV. It really isn't. It can be really hard. And one day can be great. Another day can be terrible. It depends on so many things though. Harleen was asking me, what am I making for Valentine's Day this year? That is a really good question. And actually, if you stick by your mailbox, this coming Friday, I believe it is, I am releasing my holiday menu. So maybe I shouldn't spill the beans. Beans! Darn, I did spill one of them because beans are going to be on the menu. All right, I spilled the beans, but you only know it's beans at this point. There's some beans on there. So stay close to your email if you're an email subscriber, because I am releasing my Valentine's Day menu on Friday. Stick by that. Our kitchen rock stars are here. Hi, Gladys from Louisiana. That's good. Yeah, what if you grew your own ingredients? There's some love. That's a good idea, Teresa. If you said, I cooked this for you and I grew it in my garden, oh my goodness. Oh, Kevin, don't defend Gordon Ramsay. I won't hear it. Cooking is not about making people cry. I know that he's probably actually a good guy in real life, but he is on TV ruining my profession. Right? I won't go on and on about that. If I ever screamed at people that worked for me in a kitchen, I would have no staff. It is such a ridiculous stereotype that a chef screams at people and makes them cry. It's just, what other job? If you were an accountant, could you walk over to another accountant and say, you stupid, fat, ugly... No, you can't do this in any industry, all right? So don't defend Gordon Ramsay. He has his character, it's entertainment, but me, I'm sensitive about it because I've been in his position. Okay, that wasn't what it's supposed to be about today. It's supposed to be about sexy. Yeah, right. Who's the Velveeta King? Chris, don't admit to being the Velveeta King. There's a much better way to do that. Learn to make roux. Learn to make a good butter flour roux, because the flavor of butter, and then add milk to make a bechamel sauce, make a nice white sauce. Then you can put like 5 different kinds of cheeses in there, or you could even infuse the milk with jalapenos or peppers or onions, or there's a much greater rainbow of flavors than Velveeta can ever give you. Yeah, we can help you with that, Chris. Don't worry. Yeah, again, people are talking about tech problems. It is just hard with streaming video, with live streaming video. Oh, that's nice. Don Traub says 3 years with us, and he is, maybe even more. Learn something new every day, and then just practicing it makes it better and better. What was my worst baking event? Oh, I would have to think of that. I had a really bad, somebody's asking me what my worst baking event. I've made some flat popovers. I had a challenge for a while. I used to make fantastic popovers, and then for some reason they weren't popping. They weren't puffing. In the UK, you'd call this Yorkshire pudding. And it's an egg protein leavened muffin, if you will, and it's supposed to be hollow inside. So for the longest time, and I eventually figured out it was my pan. Like my pan got too old and it wasn't heating well. That and I kept the eggs to room temperature. Those two things helped. Yeah, I had a real frustration with popovers for a while. People are agreeing with me. That's good. That's good. I'm giving out ideas. That's nice. Someone's asking me if I have closed captions. Since this is live, I don't, but there are services certainly that you can find. Thank you. You're gonna make me, some of you are gonna make me blush. That's funny. There are services that you can find that will give you the closed captioning. Okay, I don't see any more. There we go. Some of you guys, you don't want to make me blush, right, on the internet. What were we talking about before that? Oh yeah, the what am I today? What am I? This is the cellular structure of chocolate. That's chocolate. So if you guessed chocolate in the comments below, you're right. You got the what am I for this week. Hey, if you liked this video, please like it, share it, give me some hearts, give me some thumbs up, and this way it is served to more people. One of the reasons that I ask you to like and share is because then Facebook likes it and they will share it with other people, and we can have everyone get sexier for Valentine's Day this year. Oh, and don't miss next week. Also, our Carefree Cooks code next Tuesday at noon. I'm going to hint at it right now. I'm getting on a plane on Thursday, and I'm going to a food place that I've always wanted to go to. So I'm going to gather more of these food finds that I do when I travel all over, and then I'm going to bring them back to you on Tuesday. I'm landing back here in Baltimore like after midnight on Monday, so it might be a little raw, but it's going to be the cool things that I find in this trip that I'm about to take. And if you want to go ahead and guess in the comments where I'm going, you can guess, but it could be anywhere. Where is Chef Todd? But I'm going to pick up some amazing food ideas for you, some food finds, because I've been dying to go to this place, and anytime I go somewhere, I bring the camera, I find food finds. So, getting back to this way, getting back to liking and sharing, like and share the video so they will see next week and get an alert also. And look, if you want to have the most romantic holiday of the year this year, the most romantic Valentine's Day, you should go to webcookingclasses.com/VDay and sign up for my Romancing the Kitchen free online class. In this class, we talk about how to use the ingredients that potentially have aphrodisiac qualities, how to make the sexiest meal. It's an absolutely free class, and if you go to webcookingclasses.com/VDay, you can hold your seat. Not too many classes left. Once Valentine's Day comes, we won't be holding this class anymore. So grab your spot in one of the classes that we have coming up. And hey, this is great. We'll see you again next Tuesday at noon as we continue to try and break the Carefree Cooks code. It's Chef Todd Moore reminding you that there's a method to your cooking success. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.